Well, you most definitely don't have type 1 hair, I can tell you that, and I'll tell you why up next. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jala for those of you who don't know, and I talk about all things curly hair. Alright, so hair types. What's your hair type? And does it even matter? Well, I'm gonna give you all the information that you need in this video and we're gonna lay it all out. So what are hair types? What's my curly hair type? Hair types are the way that your hair curls. It's how tightly your hair curls. It's your curl pattern. And there are 4 hair types. There's type 1, type 2, type 3, and type 4 hair. And within each type, there are subcategories, and those are A, B, and C. Type 1 is straight, type 2 is wavy, type 3 is curly, and type 4 is coily or kinky. And in between type 3 and 4, I like to insert like my own subcategory called super curly, because I think it needs its own special category, to be honest. So right off the bat, you're on this video because you're looking for your curly hair type. So type 1 is completely out of the equation because it's straight. So curly hair types are only types 2 through 4. So types 2, 3, and 4 are the curly hair types, and that's what we're going to be diving into and focusing on today. So let's get into examples and the size of your curls so you can know what we're talking about. This is a curly hair chart. This shows you the pattern and the thickness of each curl in circumference. Let's start with type 2. Type 2 hair is wavy. 2A hair has these really long, loose waves. It's the loosest wave we have. They just have really long, loose, very, very slight wave in their hair. Then we get into type 2B hair. Type 2B hair has a beachy wave. When things like salt sprays and stuff, that's what people think of when like, oh, I want the beachy waves. That's type 2B hair. It has more of that S curve that's starting to show up. Then you get into type 2. These are the tightest waves that there are. And this is really where you start seeing the S curving. And the S wave really starts becoming a little bit of a slight curve. That's when you start seeing the transition. And then we move on to type 3 hair, which is curly hair. Now, type 3A is when you start to see the curls. So you really see the curls form. These curls are about the circumference of like thick sidewalk chalk. These are really where you start seeing the spirals. It starts spiraling and actually curling up instead of waving. It starts curling up. Then we get to 3B curls. These are even tighter and you really start to see the spiral now. The curls start to get smaller. The tighter the curl, the smaller it gets. And these are about the circumference of like a Sharpie. So just imagine a Sharpie, compare it to your hair, that's about how the circumference of the curls. In type 3B hair, you really start seeing some of the volume come up because as the curls get tighter, they start to stack on top of each other instead of laying flat like in waves. They start to stack on top of each other, and so the hair starts to kind of grow outward, and you really start getting the volume and you can really play with it and do some cool things with it. Then we get into type 3C hair. This is when the hair gets even tighter. The curls are getting really tight. And this is what I would consider super curly hair. The transition in between kind of like 3C to 4A, I call this super curly hair because it's super curly, and that's the best way to describe it. And in these curls, the curls are about the circumference of a pencil. So they start getting really tight. The curls start getting tight. They start to get super curly. You have lots of volume with type 3C hair, and it's actually the type of hair that I have. Then we move into type 4 hair, which is kinky coily. And in type 4A, this is where the curls are the most defined in type 4 hair. The curls are the most visible to the eye. You can see the curls better in type 4A hair compared to type 4B or C. They're super tiny and they start getting coily. You really start seeing the corkscrew. It starts getting really tight and they start really getting coily. It's very cool. Then we have type 4B hair. This is where the hair actually goes into a zigzag pattern. It's like back and forth. It's more of a Z shape now. So instead of the curling, it went from the S to the coiling. Now it's like zigzag in 4B. And there's lots of shrinkage in type 4 hair. Lots of people think type 4 hair can be short, but it just shrinks so much. The shrinkage is probably even 3 or even 4 times its length when you stretch it out. So the hair is actually longer, so don't be fooled about the shrinkage. And this is where you really start getting the afro hair. Then we move on to type 4C. This is the tightest curls known in the world, known to exist. Type 4C hair, at a distance, they don't even really look like curls until you get up closer and you really observe them. They're tiny, tiny curls. It's kind of amazing. They're super, super tight, kinky hair. So just remember, as you go across the hair chart from type 2 to type 4, the further right you go, the tighter the curls get. And the tighter the curls get, the smaller they get. Just remember that. So type 2 hair, that's wavy, all the way to type 4 hair is where the curls are the smallest and the tightest. So what's the benefit and what's the point of finding out your hair type? Well, finding out your hair type gives you a general idea of your hair's characteristics and how your hair would act. As a general rule of thumb, the tighter your hair gets, the more dry it becomes, or is prone to becoming. So this can really give you a good idea of how your hair reacts and what type of products you would use. And it also gives you the added benefit of finding other curly girls with hair types that are similar to yours. That way you can see examples of products that are working for her type of hair because their hair is similar. You're not going to look at a person with wavy hair if you have type 4 hair. Your hair has different characteristics. Their hair is wavy, yours is super kinky. That doesn't make any sense. So this helps you in being able to look at examples and products and know just because that product works for that girl does not mean it's gonna work for you, but you're a lot closer and a lot better off by using a product that might work for another girl with type 4 hair. If you have type 4 hair, there's a better chance of it working out. And so as a general rule of thumb, type 2 hair really likes lighter products, lightweight products. They like lightweight creams, mousses, foams, anything that's lightweight is not gonna weigh down the loose waves. Remember, the waves are loose. It's not like they can hold a lot. So lightweight stuff works best. Lightweight gels too work best for type 2 hair. And then we get into type 3 hair. Type 3s really start seeing the shift. Type 3A leans more to type 2 hair. And so type 3A still kind of likes the lightweight creams and stuff. And then type 3B and type 3C can kind of take the thicker products. So type 3 hair likes the thicker, creamier, kind of getting the more moisturizing products. It can handle it. The curls are tighter and they can hold more product without getting so weighed down because their hair usually is not fine like the type 2 hair can be. And then you get on to type 4 hair. Type 4 hair is usually dry, and this type of hair usually likes souffles, custards, jellies, anything that's really moisturizing and that's gonna help combat that dryness. That's what type 4 hair likes. So to find your hair type, you're just going to look at the pictures I've been providing and kind of compare it to the chart, and then you're gonna look at your hair and kind of match it up and be like, okay, my hair is about the circumference of a Sharpie. Like, you're gonna actually get these objects and you can compare, and you can look at pictures of other girls with these hair types, and you can look at the chart. That's how you're gonna figure out your hair type. My hair personally is 3C to 4A. I have 4A about right here, the really tight curls around my face kind of, and then the rest of my hair is kind of 3C. You're like, Jill, you have 2 hair types? Yes, most people have 2 hair types, and that's perfectly normal. Some might even have 3, depending on where it is on your head, and that's just how it is. And remember, if your hair is damaged, that you're not gonna be able to really figure out your natural hair pattern until it gets to its full state of health. So as it's damaged, you might not be sure, or you might have an idea, and that's okay for you not to know exactly, because it will change. As your hair gets healthy, your hair will curl up more and get curlier, because your hair curling up, getting tighter is a sign of health. Your hair curling is a sign of health. So as it does that and it gets healthier and curlier, you're gonna be able to figure out your natural curl pattern, and that's your true curl pattern. So just keep that in mind. And if you can't figure it out, like, don't trip. A lot of people get caught up in what their hair type is, and other people are like, that's not your hair type. Look, listen guys, at the end of the day, does it even matter what your hair type is? Not really, not really. Your hair type is just to give you a general idea of what would work for your hair, and it's just the pattern of your curls. Is that big of a deal? It's like, does your hair color matter at the end of the day? No, it's a personal preference. And guys, no, you cannot choose your hair type. When I was first starting my curly hair journey, I was looking at girls with like 3B curls, and I was like, their hair's so beautiful, and they have ringlet curls and so moisturized and defined, and I love it, and I want that hair, I want that. That's my goal. I didn't know at the time. I didn't know any better. My hair's 3C, like I told you, and it's big, it's fluffy, it's voluminous. Does my hair look like 3B curls that's, you know, not as voluminous and more defined? No, my hair doesn't look like that. Am I okay with that? Yes. Do I still think both types are beautiful? Yes. Don't get caught up in that. We don't choose our hair types. We're just gonna have to learn to live and accept with what God gave us. Learn to love yourself as you are and love your hair as you are. So don't get caught up in that. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what your hair type is. It's to give you a general idea. It's to help you out. It's a tool. But should you get stuck on that and be like, oh, my hair type's like this, I don't know what it is, I can't figure it out? No. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. So give yourself some relief. It's just a general idea. It's really doesn't matter. Like, if you want the rest of your life not knowing your hair type, I think you'd be okay. Now, would it help you in figuring out certain things like hair products? Yes, but there's other ways. So just keep that in mind, guys. Like, it's supposed to be fun. Keep it all light, okay? Don't get caught up in your hair type if you don't know what it is, or if it's not what you want. You don't choose. Just learn to live with what you got. Accept yourself. My hair got curlier, and I was like, my hair's not 3B. Oh, that's 3C, 4A. That's okay. That's fine. I love it. Learn to love what you have, okay? That's my little rant. Stepping off my box for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. I have some stuff in the making that talks a little bit more about the stuff, and I'm so excited to share with you real soon, so keep updated. Make sure to check out the description. Lots of good things on there, usually for you. And yeah, make sure to like and subscribe for more curly hair videos, and comment down below what your hair type is or what you think it is. and in discussion about that, and I would love to read it and hear it. And yeah, I'm so excited for all things coming for you guys, and more curly hair stuff is on the way. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!
Here we go.